Welcome to the Catastrophic Comeback Podcast with American injury lawyer Clark Speaks, helping you find hope, purpose, and joy after a catastrophic injury.
Let me ask you this. If there is, so let's say somebody is listening to you right now and they're at the beginning of this journey. They have just found out that they have a serious injury, whether it's, a broken back or a spinal injury or a mobility issue, or paralysis or quadriplegia or a lost limb or whatever. And they're at the beginning of that and they're in a dark place, and we could talk to them right now. What would you say to them?
I would say there's the number one thing is to stay positive as much as you can. Just think about the positive things. There's going to be bad days, but there's going to be more good days than bad days.
One of the things that you said before we started recording was, that gratitude was a part of it and just being grateful to be alive.
Yeah, grateful to be alive, yeah.
Because it could have been worse, right?
It could be 10 times worse.
One of the things that you said about is to stay motivated and to stay positive. What are the things that you try to do to stay motivated and be positive?
Basically just try to push myself. I mean, I never really like sitting down in the house, and like if I see sun outside, I'm outside doing something. So
Is that still the case now?
Yeah.
So,
yes, sir.
So in terms of staying positive, what would you focus on in order to try to? I mean, did you sort of picture, okay, I'm gonna be able to hunt again. I'm gonna be able to fish again. I'm gonna be able to play with my daughter. What did you focus on in order to try to maintain that motivation?
Just trying to figuring out ways I can do things, and dang if somebody tells me I can't do something.
Is that the motivation for you?
Yes, sir. Nobody says that anymore.
Oh yeah, I bet so. Well, I want to talk to you about that. When you were in the hospital, there were people that told you, hey, going forward, you're not going to be able to do A and B and C. What were the things they told you were not going to be able to do?
They said that there's probably a 90% chance that I'd be in a wheelchair for the rest of my life, that I'd probably never walk again, that I might not be able to have kids again, and basically all negative stuff. And I didn't go to a doctor unless I was deathly sick. You know what I mean? So I didn't really believe him at all. Believe him then. Plus, a doctor in a wheelchair came in and said I would never walk again. And I got kind of frustrated at that because, I mean, like, man, you're in the same situation as me. Why would you, who would say that? You know what I mean? I would never say that to somebody in a wheelchair.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So, and that just gave me more motivation. I mean, I wish I could see that doctor now. I'd walk in with a dang walker.
That's cool, man. Well, so how has that changed, right? So that was what they told you. What's been your reality?
I don't basically try to prove them wrong.
So what are some of the things that you're able to do now that they would be surprised to see?
Me walking with a walker, me
Wow.
moving my legs, me lifting my legs up, me being able to crawl.
What's your day-to-day look like? Are you I mean, the way that they had it pictured, you'd be sitting in a house in a dark corner somewhere with a blanket, and watching TV and getting fat, What's your reality been like?
Well, first of all, I couldn't get fat if I tried. But day to day, I'm either I own some property. I go to the land and just do whatever. So I see something that needs done to do it. And I've been fishing a lot with my buddy. We've been in a couple fishing tournaments. And
So you just told me before we got on that you had a catfish tournament won.
yeah, it was a bowfin tournament.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and we had probably 11 or 12 fish on the boat and one big catfish, and yeah, it was running good the whole time. And on the way back,
That's cool. Do you hunt?
Yep, I hunt. Anything that's in season is basically they're on my land.
Wow.
Because my land backs up to Holly Shelter Game Lands. So there's anything you could possibly.
Do you enjoy spending time with your daughter?
Man, that's my number one. If I get any minute with her, I'll drop whatever I'm doing.
In fact, we were supposed to do this on Monday, and you guys were spending the day together.
Yeah.
So if somebody is in this sort of situation where they're waking up in a hospital room and they get bad news and it's like a dark time for them, what you're telling me is that these limitations that they're being told about are artificial.
Every spinal cord, every injury is different. Some people could tell you that and you'd be walking out of that hospital in 10 days. But I'm not gonna, some people that might actually be true and not able to walk anymore for the rest of their life. But you don't need to, your body's different and they don't know your body and what you did before. So they don't.
Well, it sounds like also that what you're saying is that whatever your limitations are, they might not be permanent. They might be able to be improved.
Exactly.
With effort, with motivation, with proper medical attention.
Yeah.
But also, even with some limitations, you can still have an awesome life going forward.
Yeah.
And so a lot of it has to do with maybe mindset and how you approach these things.
Most of it's mindset. If you want something, you'll figure out a way.
Let me ask you, during the course of this journey, have you met other people who you found to be inspirational?
Yeah, I've met a lot. I played basketball, wheelchair basketball for a couple years, and I met a lot of people there, and it was all cool. I still talk to them and stuff, and I volunteer at the hospital for my guidance counselor. My counselor works there as a counselor there, so if she has like a spinal cord patient that's kind of like in my situation, I would go up there and talk to them.
Did you find that helpful when you were in the recovery phase?
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's fun because you just basically tell people the same thing I'm doing here. You know what I mean? It's not the end of anything. It's starting of something.
Okay, and then let me ask you: is that helpful to you now to go back and talk to those guys?
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I try to do anything I can for, like, I let handicapped people. I volunteer with the North Carolina Handicapped Sportsmen's Association, and if somebody like that don't have the means or the place to hunt, I let them come to my land and let them hunt and stuff.
Wow. And so I see that because you and I are friends on social media, and I see how you try to develop that part. Because I imagine there's some parts of society that are really well developed for people with sort of physical limitations, and some part are less developed. Hunting is a place where I have seen it's probably been underdeveloped, underserved.
Yeah,
and I see that you're real active in that.
Yeah, I try to do whatever I can because when I'm out there, that's the most happiness. You ain't thinking about nothing, your paralysis or anything. You just sitting in the woods listening to the birds.
Yeah. How about is you feel the same way about fishing?
Yep, yes sir. I mean, I've been on the water. My dad is a boat mechanic, so I've been on the water since I was about 4, driving boats and stuff, and that's probably never going to change. I love being out there.
Other than medical professionals, who else has been helpful to you on this journey?
I've just had a couple good friends, you know what I mean, that help me if I need something heavy lifted at the house, or you know what I'm saying, just other stuff I can't really do, you know what I mean.
Were these people that you communicated with and they supported you through the whole process from the very beginning?
Yep, yes sir.
How important is it to have a network of friends and family that can help you through this process?
It's important. It's important because you think I guess I have the mentality if I can do everything myself, but the reality is I can't. Like you're gonna need help sooner or later with something. So yeah, that's a big part of it is have a network around you that's stable and good people.
The results of your particular legal case was confidential, so we won't talk about that. But can you tell me generally what that legal process was like?
It was basically a long time waiting and sitting in a room, and then I get a piece of paper, and I know what it is, and I know what I could do with it. I could either take it to my bank account, or I could take it to somebody who knows what they're doing with it. So I just took it to a financial group and let them have it, and just tell them to not tell me when it's doing good, not tell me when it's doing bad.
Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.